I'd like to hear from each of the tables because I think that we would all benefit. We'll let people wrap up their conversation. So. I'm excited that there's so much dialogue. All right, so is there a volunteer who'd like to share what your table identified? Someone volunteer, I will.
What do you want us to do? I'll volunteer.
Kind of tell us just in the nutshell of what is on your flip chart.
Opportunities, based on what we heard today, we thought opportunities were the digital with the blend of the face-to-face in the classroom. We think there's a whole lot of opportunity there. We also thought opportunity would be, we've talked about this before, but clarifying and demonstrating the spirit and the vision of junior achievement. You know, we had an example of a person had gone back to the classroom after being a JA student, and it's still there. The spirit of junior achievement is still there, and we need to make people more aware of it. Demographics, we think that is something that we've got an opportunity to go because of the changing demographics in the state of Texas and locally for sure. That's also a concern. How are we going to address those demographics and the changing demographics? Other concerns, probably the main one was access to the classroom. Are we still going to have access to the classroom? Are we still going to be relevant in 3 years, 5 years? And then also, these two kind of tied in together, the sense of urgency. You know, if JA National, and this is not a bash on Howard or anything, but JA National, it's going to take them 3 years to see where we're going to be. We can't wait that long here. We think we need to have a better sense of urgency, and also tied in with that, and it is a little bit of potential for loss of local control. You know, it's kind of like the school districts that Jim talked about. We still want to have some local control, but is JA National, you know, to change that based on what their plan is in 3 years.
Okay, great. Thank you very much. Who'd like to go next? Yes, ma'am.
I'm sure I can explain this like we talked about it, but Jim was saying that a lot of their emphasis on the high school is on college readiness. And we think that with the programs that we come in with, especially the relationship with people in the business community, that contributes to that, and we think that's an opportunity for us. The challenge on the other side is, you know, is it going to be tougher to get into the school, like we've talked about?
Okay, that access.
We think that to some degree, is JA keeping up with, as a challenge, are we keeping up with the most relevant and current resources? I mean, we have a good program, but given the fact that everything is going digital and everything's computerized, you know, we're going to have to stay on top of that as well. But we think being a smaller group, it could be, you know, and how you have to jump through so many hoops in the school system to get new equipment, new tools, new resources, everything. We think that it's possible that there's an opportunity for us to bring new systems and new tools into the school system, you know, on top of what they already have.
Okay.
Another challenge would be the funding, but we think if we can figure out ways to identify how we measure the kids and the relevance of the kids going through the system, that you know, if we can provide that accountability to our donors, that we think that will help with the funding.
Okay. So some commonality with the relevance issue and making sure, but then the college readiness could also play into how we might be able to package something to make sure that it is relevant to what the schools are looking for. Great. Someone else? Yes, sir.
We didn't. We talked about some of the same things, but I guess briefly, our main concern was really on curriculum.
Okay.
And some things we talked about was the fact that school systems, public school systems, seem to be so focused on tests today. And our experience has been that life doesn't present itself in a Scantron form. And so I think we're having some communication issues with kids who are used to thinking in a Scantron form and trying to present our curriculum to them. That's a concern. it's also an opportunity, and it also validates the importance of having people like us come into school districts and give a broader perspective of problem solving.
Okay.
So
So
it's a concern, it's also an opportunity.
Okay. So it's how we package that and are able to.
And we also had a concern that with the control that we've heard about, that there may be some issues of being able to maintain control over our curriculum as to how we want to present it, whether schools are going to be more, we're going to clamp down more on how we present stuff.
And want to really review things and make sure that it's appropriate for the testing. Okay. Great. Let's see, who haven't we heard from this table?
I would say that we thought the opportunity, much like everybody else did, is it's really a target-rich opportunity. The kids, the needs, and our concern, my concern with loose support is the risk of completely and totally losing focus. We're teaching kids from K through high school on 6,000 different things where we can add value. And I would like the idea that they're kind of the 3 goals you set out, Howard, but the idea of losing focus and being pulled in lots of different directions, trying to be master of all, master of none, and try to respond to all. So the focus question is I think, one that is concerning given everything we're trying to do. And then again, just the 3 R's, as you read, I think would be concerns as well.
And when you guys talk about a target-rich environment, are you talking demographically, or explain that a little bit further?
Yeah, no, everywhere, demographically, age group, literacy. I mean, just there's so many different ways we can add value, and it is such an underserved market that, again, focusing on the 2 or the 3 areas where we can make the biggest impact, I think is critical. And I think it's really, really easy to get pulled in more than 2 or 3 directions.
So the concern there would be making sure that the focus is razor sharp and that
Yes.
it's not a scattered approach. So, great. How about anyone on the phone that would like to chime in? We put everyone to sleep that's on the phone. Okay. All right, well, that was quick and dirty because I wanted to respect your time. I know that we said that the meeting was going to wrap up about 5:30. So a good start for us. We'll take this information and we'll delve into it a lot deeper when we meet in March. And then we'll also use it a little bit when we get together in the small groups with our focus group session so that we can get a little bit more defined about what some of these ideas are. So thanks very much for your input, and I will talk to you again very soon.